Hello, Star Wars fans! Hey, do you know there's just 158 days until Christmas 2021? Oh, it's exciting. Santa is in the countdown. You know, this year I have changed my Santa appearances. So look for more information as it comes. We'll be focusing a lot on doing virtual visits. So all of you can contact me. We can do Santa visits with your family, your friends, your children, whatever the case may be. Super excited about that, and I'm trying some more new stuff. So you may get. I just saw a glitch happen there, and hopefully that won't be too prevalent. There's another piece of news I want to share tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to appear on a podcast called They Fly Now. They Fly Now podcast, and they've invited a few folks in to talk about prequel hate versus sequel hate. And we'll be talking a little bit about that this evening on They Fly Now podcast. Now, the problem with that is it goes right up against nerd theory. Oh, that could be a problem. So, if you guys check out Nerd Theory, we'll get more information about the podcast out as that becomes available throughout the day today. And, I was listening in on the Den of Nerds this morning, Josh's stream, and I thought I would ask the question here. How many people think that the original Disney Plus content for Star Wars is better than the original Disney Plus content for Marvel? Or which do you think is better? Marvel original content or Disney or Star Wars original content? Now, that's not to take the movies, that's to take the original content. So we're looking at WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki versus The Mandalorian, Season 1, Season 2, The Bad Batch, and the other projects there. So what do you all think? I've put a poll up. We figured out how to do polls on the channel. I'm excited about that as well. And you guys, if you're following on the Discord, you have seen that we have a big show scheduled for Thursday. We've got some fantastic guests who have confirmed that they will be participating. I've got a couple other email out to folks, hoping to hear back from them soon so that we can announce the final lineup. And we're going to start to try to get them lined up within a time frame so that at this time we'll have this person on, this time we'll have this other person on. And I see Star Wars Tonight's there. Star Wars Tonight has asked me to come on their channel this coming Friday to talk about the latest Bad Batch episode. So hopefully we'll be doing that soon as well. So just say hi to everybody who's here as we're able. Skunkus, hello! Saw you over on the Den of Nerds this morning. McNay, good to see you. And Anthony, we one of our regulars here on the Star Wars channel, Santa's channel. So thank you for being here again. We've got people joining. Look there, JT is a brand new member. Thanks for joining the membership here, JT. We really appreciate it. Great to see you here. And we've got, let's see, I was going down the list. RF Gaming Channel. Oh, another regular. And Darth Elvis. Hot dang. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. I know it's been a few days, so hopefully by now you are up and running. Abby's here. And Mark Hamilton. Hello. This is the way. And you guys, I figured out how to pop out the chat from YouTube so I can actually see the little custom emojis. Now the problem is here on the on StreamYard, it's still just showing like that. That's no good. That's no good at all. But there you go. We've got Tyler the Kid. Thank you, sir. I see 22 people chat, but only 8 likes. Oh, we need to get the likes up. Thank you so much. And AJ, Yes, my birthday is soon. It is this Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to have our regular noon live stream with a Magic Maker where we talk about the Bad Batch and our predictions. And then we have a special live stream, a celebrity live stream. So you guys remember last week we did... Nikki. Did somebody say Cole? You say coal, that's synonymous with Nikki. She's she's here to hoard all the coal and to sling it at you if you misbehave. She'll put it right through your window. She will. You got to watch out. I'll come back to this in just a second, but Anthony, I'll highlight it here so we keep this in sight. So we've got a celebrity live stream coming up this Thursday. You know, last week we did a community live stream. It was fantastic. Folks from the Discord came in and we invited them in to talk about Star Wars. We had lots of friends of the channel come in and participate. Well, I've reached out to some pretty prevalent Star Wars content creators, and many of them have responded back with their willingness to come on the stream this Thursday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern. I think we're going to try to kick it off with Star Wars Meg. Really excited, and she's put out some good videos over the weekend. We'll hopefully talk about here just a little bit today. And then I'm super excited. We got Bosk's Bounty. Bosk's Bounty. He'll be coming on right about 4 p.m. Eastern, and we'll talk about some of the collectibles things. He's a vintage collector as well, and he'll be able to share some thoughts there. That should be a really fun discussion with him. And then we've got a few other folks lined up that will slide in between those times and all the way up till 5 p.m. Eastern. So you guys be sure to come check us out or check the replay out. It should be a ton of fun. Really, really excited about it. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. So Anthony asked, the last few months there were rumors going around that that John and Dave were going to debut an original character, not a character from Canon. It's probably voice text there. Canon. Should I believe it or is it BS? No, I think we're going to get some original characters. That's pretty much a given. Now, that being said, they may not be prominent characters. They'll just be secondary. We're seeing a lot of canon characters already in the lineup, and we'll talk about more of those in just a moment. There's a couple other things I want to touch base on. And Kindle, the MCU's had more depth in their projects, but the Mando is so good it keeps Star Wars above the MCU right now. Kindle, for me, I'm not a big Marvel sweaty. So for me, when I watch the Marvel content, I'm just watching it as a normie. I know a little bit about Marvel here and there. And of course, I follow Josh and others on that cover Marvel content. Our good friend Trinity from Second Street Marvel, and of course, normies to nerds, and many others, Chillmonger, and I try to keep up with what's going on in that space. But for me, the Marvel content has not been that great. And I could tell you from my own family experience, it lost contact with Mrs. Claus for sure. She checked out. The only one that she really enjoyed was WandaVision, and not even all of that. It fell off for her. It kind of redeemed itself, but that didn't excite her. We watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. She checked out about after episode 2 or 3. Didn't even watch the end of it. And then with the latest Loki, I got her to stick through the very end of it. But after we watched the final episode, she said, I didn't like that show. So I'm not sure how much it's connecting outside of the sweaties. And, Josh brought up a point this morning about the MCU being far ahead of Star Wars, and it's going to take a lot to recover that. But he brought up a very salient point in the middle, a salient point, I should say. Oh, Josh has got me speaking wrong words. That's what happens when you watch the Den of Nerds. Josh speaking wrong words wrongly. wrong words wrongly. Josh, I love him so much. But anyhow, yeah, he brought up some salient points that India and China really don't care that much about Star Wars. And that's a true statement. And there's a reason going back all the way to the original release that never released in those markets during the day. So you don't have people Santa's age who grew up as Star Wars fans because those movies simply weren't released. The re-release, the special releases started to reach into that population. But as a whole, Star Wars just doesn't matter to them. And MCU built during a time when those movies were building during their build up into things like Endgame that then smashed the box office in those markets. Star Wars does not have those kind of legs. Hopefully, and this is why I asked the poll question I did, that the Disney Plus content, that original content that's coming out, that's introducing characters like Din Djarin and Grogu, and now we're going to go back to the original trilogy or prequel era in between there with Kenobi, and then we have all these other projects. The Disney Plus has a much deeper reach, and those characters, those stories should land with those audiences more and let it build a bigger following. Another salient point, and Star Wars Meg made it over the weekend, is that animated content just does not resonate or reach as many people as live action. It just simply doesn't. And she talked about how she's enjoying the Bad Batch. Certainly Santa's enjoying it, and Sheev the Wise is enjoying it. Many of you here are really loving the Bad Batch. We are deep into it and enjoying the content quite a bit. But the fact of the matter is, just not as many people consume animated as they do live action, and that's why we see so many projects trending towards live action than animated, and you're going to probably see that trend continue. And then that leads into the other point, and Josh asked the survey question at the end of the Dinner Nerds Live this morning, asking, what do you think of the High Republic? Well, here's the other fact of the matter. Animated reaches more people than written. And novels and comics are going to get a fraction of the audience that animated does. And that's getting a fraction of the audience that live action does. And that's not even the full audience that you get in a film, at least traditionally with Star Wars. I think that's going to reverse over time. We're going to see that streaming content will surpass movies. It maybe already is. And so going forward, I think Lucasfilm, Star Wars is well positioned to grow going forward. And as long as they keep releasing content that's really connecting, like The Mandalorian, and I expect Kenobi, I expect that Ahsoka and The Acolyte, all of these projects coming into live action will connect with audiences. And at least from Santa's perspective, they keep beating Marvel on their series. It won't take long for them to catch up as far as a global audience. And I think Star Wars Only put out a post over the weekend. I saw it where Star Wars domestically performed at or above Marvel domestically. Now, when I say domestically, I mean in the United States, North America. And that's, if you go even to Endgame, they're on par. They're right in that neighborhood, fishing there with Marvel. So Marvel's ahead globally, especially in those markets that Josh mentioned. India and China are crushing it. Marvel over Star Wars. And you can't ignore when that sort of population, global population percentage in the market there weighs so heavily. They're going to draw more audience. So that's my thought. It's a bit of my rebuttal to Josh this morning. He's right, but at the same time, he's got his own bias. So it's all good. It's all good. Tyler says you must have a lot more sway because as soon as I read it out loud, the likes went up. Oh, thank you so much, Tyler the Kid. That's very good. Very good. And again, the chat is jumping here in in StreamYard. So let's get here. Nikki, there she goes. Like the stream, Cole's strong enough to break Mace windows. I love Nikki, and we were having fun in Josh's stream as well. Nikki and I were chatting back and forth. It was a lot of fun. Nikki is absolutely great, and there's another example. So somebody doesn't see eye to eye with Santa, but we have a great relationship, and she's wonderful for the channel here. Darth Chaos, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Skunkus, I love Star Wars Meg. You know, Star Wars Meg is killing it, and I'm super excited that she's going to come on to talk to us. A lot of great names. Yeah, we've got a little GIF going that introduces all of the people that have confirmed for this Thursday stream, and there's already a couple of names that are getting added that we want to bring on as some surprises in the stream as well. So there. Ducky, we need a Dr. Nick Rivera from The Simpsons saying, "Hey everybody," we need that emoji. Stormy, yes, sorry, Stormy, I do watch. I absolutely, we promoted in the chat here. I've got it pinned at the top. Nerd Hollow Network is where you can find Stormy's channel. We've got. We've got, I want to bring it up here because we've got a lot of great channels out there, including All New Nerds, Everyday Geeks, which is Stormy's channel. You guys, I posted some stuff in his Discord the other day about that Galactus model. Everyday Geeks, I love Stormy. He's a good friend, and he's passionate about his Marvel content. So, Stormy, did not mean to give you the cold shoulder there, my friend. It's good to see you. Kendall, Mando Season 2 over Loki Season 1, over WandaVision, over Mando Season 1, over Falcon and Winter Soldier, over Bad Batch. Nice. I like your order there, Kendall. I would, just looking at the same thing, I would put Mando 2, Mando 1, Bad Batch, WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's it. Just saying this order. So there you go. Tyler, technically Sasha Banks' character was the original character. She really didn't do much. That's true. So yeah, I think within the Kenobi, we'll get some original. Again, we'll talk about Kenobi here in just a moment. Hey, there's Mike the Kang Porter. Is an MCU stan. I love Star Wars. Mando 2 was incredible. There you go. And it's hard for me because I'm just not that deep into Marvel for me to be able to. For Crucella Lopez, why compare? They're like comparing basketball to tennis. I don't see the connection. Good point. I think that my only point on it is that the stories themselves, the amount of enjoyment that I got from them, I agree with you. They're not the same. Star Wars and Marvel, it's not like DC and Marvel where you've got superheroes. Many of the same characters that are just copies of one another. DC and Marvel have been doing that for decades, copying characters. That's common. So yeah, it's not the same. It's just that I think Star Wars content is reaching really well, and it's culturally relevant. It's water cooler talk, and it's something that has fans engaging with the content. So it's as far as talking about, are those building the fandom? Is it building support for the franchise? And Josh kind of put a thing out there this morning that I would say is a little bit of heresy, saying that Star Wars is going the direction of Star Trek. Oh, how dare you! How dare you, Josh? Oh, demerit. Demerit for Josh for the Star Wars Star Trek comparison there. I don't think it's even close. Keaton Haas, hello. Oh, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, congrats again in monetization. I love the channel, chat, and content. Looking forward to Thursday's stream. Hope you can make it. What time is it again? It'll be 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern So adjust for your time zone. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing the celebration and birthday live stream. So that's going to be with our celebrity live stream. That's how we're going to be doing it. Josh talked about Star Wars fans being the worst. I was thinking, okay, he needs to go visit Santa's channel. Yeah, and Josh, thanks for the shout out this morning. Josh gave me a nice shout out during his live stream and told about the show we're planning for Thursday, and he plans on giving us some content to share during that live stream as well. So looking forward to hearing from Josh this week. That's very good. RF Gaming Channel, very true about animated. I know it can't go into animated, but books and live action, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Mark's got it. Live action over animated over publishing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even Stormy likes the Bad Batch. Look at that. A Marvel sweaty, a guy who's deep into the Marvel universe and has a channel dedicated to covering Marvel, saying the Bad Batch is so cool. So there you go. If Stormy says it, then it has to be true. I love that guy. Tyler, I don't know why Star Wars fans get a bad rap. Well, I know why. But you're right about Harry Potter fans too. And Josh touched on it, and I loved. Josh was really on this morning. Very entertaining show. His sense of humor and a bit of the levity he brought to the discussion was really good. But people who are so deep into canon, who want to fight about every little thing, because this paragraph and this one thing contradicts this scene and this other thing, and just get livid about it, need to calm down. And Harry Potter fans have the same problem, and they're absolutely livid about much of what J.K. Rowling has been doing, and her prequels. Right, those got fans absolutely set off the edge. So we'll have to agree on that. Mando Mike in Australia. Hello, my friend. Thanks for joining. I got to get to sleep. 2 a.m. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. He brings up the snow troopers. If you join this channel here, you subscribe to the channel, we consider you one of our snow troopers here, one of Santa's supporters. We're so thankful for every single subscriber, and the channel continues to grow, and we're having a great time. Mike, the Kang Porter. I understand that's how a lot of people feel. I love Star Wars, the MCU's way of life. Content and marketing, familiar characters, yeah. I get it. I just think that Marvel hit at a really good time for the movies as that MCU was building. But I still make the argument that Star Wars is killing it on the live action series, far better, and they're way ahead of Marvel. You got to remember that Stagecraft is a Star Wars Lucasfilm creation. Now Marvel's leveraging it, and more companies, more and more of these places are going to be using that. Yeah. Nikki, I should have a segment called "Here's Why Josh is Wrong." Segment number 59. Tomorrow we could do episode number 60. Here's why, or segment number 60. Here's why Josh is wrong. Nikki, I love it. It would be a ton of fun, and just to troll on Josh. I love trolling Josh, his friends, and giving him a hard time about those Mando Season 2 predictions that he was absolutely locked into. Don't let him forget Ezra and Sabine. He can't let Josh forget Ezra and Sabine in Mando Season 2. RF Gaming, every fandom is toxic. Well, here's the thing, RF Gaming channel, and I think that's what Josh was touching base on this morning, is these people who are canon junkies, who are absolutely locked into every paragraph, sentence, and detail in canon. They make it really hard for normies. They make it really hard for content creators, other directors to come in, because they're so locked in tight on canon that any deviant from that canon creates a huge ordeal. And Star Wars fans have been terrible about it. And you're right to say that all those fandoms can get that way, and then they can have internal fighting. That's Nikki. I am all the Sith. Yeah. Let's see. Josh was picking on the Star Wars fans this morning, unusually, but it's his first love, and I pointed out that with more love comes more hate, right? So it's just a passion, and the passion comes across as hate, and so passionate Star Wars fans come across as hate because the way they express that passion is often detrimental to the franchise and not constructive. And that brings up why I have invited Thor Skywalker to join our conversation Thursday. Here's a guy who is, I believe, provides constructive criticism. And I look forward to having a great discussion with him about Gray Jedi. So if anybody is listening that's close to Thor, if you're listening in to hear just a little bit, I'm going to hit you up with the Gray Jedi discussion Thursday because I have learned a lot by interacting in his server about that. And I know he is passionate about the concept of Gray Jedi, and he's really, really articulate on it. So look forward to that discussion. Ryan, hello there. Thanks for joining. Nikki, all fandoms are trash because fandoms groups. Yeah, Phil, another regular. Good to see you here. There you go. I need to get caught up. There's Phil Keaton's super chat. We just now made it in the chat down to the super chat. I read it earlier. Thanks again for the generous donation here, Keaton. Appreciate it. Star Wars and Marvel aren't similar because it's under Disney. They get compared. Not only that, but there's some of the biggest franchises out there, and you look at the top box office of all time, and you'll see them right up there together. Yeah. There's Steve. You tell him. We're way better than Star Trek. No kidding, right? Josh, what are you thinking? He was just trolling us. I think poking the bear. And so there you go. What do you think about storytelling, character arcs? Yes, yeah, it gets really hard. Right. Right. And there's Stormy with a generous. I think that's euros. A €2 first super chat. Thank you so much. Dune will come the new Star Wars. The question, Stormy, is did Mando and the Krayt Dragon do a better Dune than Dune will do Dune? How about that? The Krayt Dragon was amazing, and that's obviously stolen from Dune. But did they do better Dune than Dune will? And hopefully this Dune reboot, this movie will kill it. I'm looking forward to it. Get on on Thursday stream. Very good. I don't think fandoms are toxic. People rally on passionate things. You're not wrong. You're exactly right. And as content comes out that is of high quality, you see those fandoms coalesce behind it and support it, and they do fantastically. And Mandalorian is proof in the pudding there. Yeah, let's see if I can get caught up. Skunkus talking about the sequels has a problem with, but overall still a winner. Love the MCU almost as much. There you go. Stormy, Bad Batch actually first animated Star Wars show got into. Well, that's great, Stormy. And it took me some time to get up to speed with the Rebels, especially. But it's great that it's reaching. The Bad Batch is reaching new fans. New fans will turn into more supporters who will become supporters of the franchise and become part of the fandom. And that's what the Disney Plus content is all about, is turning normies into nerds. To borrow from our friend's channel. There you go. Yeah. Josh was being hilarious. He was really on this morning. A lot of fun. Harry Potter fans not necessarily toxic, just strange. Trying to. Oh, I love Harry Potter, you guys. I absolutely love Harry Potter. We've been rewatching the movies again, and I love the books. I've read them, both the American versions and the UK versions. In my opinion, UK versions translate a little better the stories, but the US versions are great as well. But I absolutely love those stories, and it's really, well, I don't want to go too deep into into Harry Potter. We're here to talk about Star Wars, and I still haven't even got to our topics yet. Trying to get caught up with the chat. I'm gonna kind of jump through here. Yes. Nikki, 100%, 100%. I'm with you, my friend. We have to remember TV and film are always adaptations, not full copies of books. Right, and that's, again, I'll get myself in trouble, but I have to step in and talk a little bit about Kathleen Kennedy saying we're not adapting, we don't have content we're making these movies from. And everybody lost their minds saying, what do you mean, Kathleen? There are hundreds of books and comics, and the content for Star Wars lore is deep and rich. How can you say there's no such thing? And that shows how disconnected she is, and so on and so forth. The thing is, they weren't adapting those into the movies. Sure, they're borrowing elements from it, they're borrowing plot points from it, but they're not adapting like you would say with Jurassic Park or even Harry Potter, other things where they've got the novel that they're adapting to film directly, right? And they have to make changes to those novels to incorporate them, but they're not doing that with the saga, the Star Wars Skywalker saga. They weren't taking novels and adapting them, and that's, I think, at least from my perspective, what she was talking about. So, my goodness, you guys get me in trouble. Everybody fleeing from Star Wars Santa's channel. Josh got butthurt about Bad Batch changing the canon comic. He got a little upset about that, but he also is no fan of the Martez sisters, and he got kind of butthurt about that. He didn't like to see them show up. Let's see if I can get caught up. Sorry, you guys, I've got to jump up here so we can get on to our topics of the day. There we go. Ezra and Sabine confirmed. Josh, take that. DC fandom. Oh my goodness. The DC fandom agrees Star Wars is better. Look, I grew up. DC was my thing when I was a little guy, and sitting outside, looking up in the clouds, thinking about and daydreaming. It was DC. It was Superman. Those were the things that captured me as a little tyke, and so I love DC. And boy, they break my heart repeatedly. I will give them that their animated stuff's not bad. Animated stuff's not bad, but boy, their live action can really test your fandom. It can really test it. Oh my goodness, Drew. Mando's still the king of Disney Plus. No, yeah, and as evidenced in those Emmys, they did fantastic in there. Ducky, this is like my first kid, right? How do you compare your kids, right? You can't do that either. Oh, let's see. I just got to get thoughts on the sequel trilogy being put into the expanded universe. I don't think that's going to happen, AJ. I think the sequel trilogy is firmly in place, and there is where it will remain. Now, that's not to say the parts of it won't get retconned and put into different perspective, and we may learn more about, let's say, the Luke and Ben Hutt scene. We may learn a lot more about that gives it different context, and maybe even an entirely different perspective on it that was not shared in the sequels at all, that allow that scene to play out differently than it did in the movies. I think those things are very, very likely to happen. So, and Leia, hey, I saw you earlier. I didn't call you out. Thanks for being here. Another good friend of the channel. We had her on as a guest. Hope to do that again sometime on one of our live streams. Yeah, Thor hates the Gray Jedi. Yeah, I'll be talking to Thor about some of those concepts this Thursday, and I look forward to his expertise being brought into the conversation. Uh, yeah, I get upset over some canon change. Yeah, or understand when people do get upset, and sometimes it can be frustrating. I think the way that Lucasfilm has been trying to couch it is pretty good, saying, look, these are stories that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far away, so that there are slight differences as long as the basic story stays the same. And the Caleb Dune example is a good one. The lightsaber colors and the conditions and all of that. The basic story was the same, although the details were different. So there you go. Mike, the Kang Porter. Josh is a huge Star Wars fan. Yes, he is. Yes, and he's trying to get yes. Yeah, he was trolling fans. Yeah, he was doing a great job. Josh's stream was great this morning, and it provided me the impetus to go into this discussion here, where we're more than half an hour into it, and I still haven't got to my topics. Oh, my goodness. All new nerds, hello. So I'm going to jump ahead, and you guys, I've got to get caught up because there's some great stuff here, and you guys are running faster than I am. Because I'm talking too much. So there you go. Let's jump into a couple of content pieces here. I do want to share that the Obi Wan Kenobi series. So there's some things there. We want to talk about cameos coming into Bad Batch. That's off of Star Wars Meg's latest video she put in, and Mando 3 already in production. Those are kind of the main story points. And you guys know that every Monday, StarWars.com puts out their episode guide for the latest Bad Batch episode. And today is no exception. They put one out, and I want to bring this up because I've talked about it here, and I saw it on here, and I thought, here we go. This is more evidence for Santa's concept, my theory that those inhibitor chips have a lifespan, and perhaps they are coming that they spent their energy, and the reason that Crosshair, his inhibitor chip is still active is because they went in and amped it, right? They increased the mileage, if you want to say it that way, right? So I think the mileage is run out on these inhibitor chips, and if you read the episode guide for the Rescue on Ryloth episode, right here, this slide kind of hints at what I've been talking about. It says the limits of a clone trooper's programming and loyalty to the Empire versus the Republic. And look, it says limits to a clone trooper's programming. What is that? What are the limits to a clone trooper's programming? What is the programming? Programming to me is the inhibitor chip, and that there are limits to that inhibitor chip. And right there it says it's starting to make itself clear in this episode as we see Captain Hauser lead a small revolt. Oh, there's some big hints in there about what's going on. I think that the inhibitor chips do have a shelf life. Once they've been activated, that they only go so far. And I was chatting with Mark over the weekend. And there you go. Every time you smash like, Santa gets his blurg. We'll be talking about that with Boss Bounty later in the week. But I think that Mark brought up a point in he was watching a video, and they were talking about the actual age of clone troopers versus their enhanced age, and the emotional maturity versus the intellect. So look, the clones are age enhanced. So if they're in their 20s, they're in their early teens maybe, right? Let's say they're 25, look, they might be 12 and a half, 13 years old at 26 years old. They're 13 in actual. Think about the emotional maturity of a 13-year-old and the ability for them to empathize or sympathize or even fully connect with emotional level of others. It could be stunted because they've learned tactical skills, they've learned combat skills, they've been enhanced to perform in a military setting, but that doesn't mean that they understand emotional equivalence really, really well. And you see that in this latest episode of The Bad Batch, where Hunter Omega seems to be at a maturity level which is not uncommon for a teenage girl to be emotionally more mature than a teenage boy. Oh my goodness, have you seen teenage boys? Oh, it could be scary. So, I think that there's a good point there. And we see in this episode guide that the limits to their programming is starting to become clear as we see Captain Hauser lead a small revolt. Well, we've been talking about a clone uprising for some time, and we think that we're building up to it. This week we get the episode for Infested, and that could very well be the start of the clone uprising, followed in the next episode where the full-blown clone uprising and the battle with the Empire actually begins. And we see the clones officially replaced by stormtroopers, and we may get that to play itself out in the final arc. I think that's very, very possible, and something to look out for there. So there we go. There we go. It's funny how people are trashing the Bad Batch. Clearly a slow build. Look, I don't understand the bashing. To me, I think it has more to do with expectations versus reality, and that many people set their expectations on something that the Bad Batch is not delivering. If you come into the Bad Batch more of a blank slate, and I was coming into it with the concept of a space A-team, the mercenaries for hire, it really seemed to come, it's fulfilling everything that I wanted it to fulfill. I'm loving the character development. I'm loving the show. I'm loving the story arcs. I think it's fantastic. And and there's Nikki on Sheev's wavelength there. The Vader cameo. The Vader cameo. We might get Vader showing up on Camino and absolutely wrecking the place. Right? So I think that's what Sheev wants. That's what Nikki wants. And I saw All New Nerds. Oh, that's what they want too. And I'm not sure which one of you is representing here from All New Nerds, but yeah, I know a lot of people want that. Yes, Space 18. That's what we have. That's what we have. And I think if that's what you kind of have in mind, then it's beating that. But here's Moss. Good to see you, Moss. Another Den of Nerds regular. It's losing. Some of it's really good, but it's missing something. So, hey, people coming in with different expectations, different desires, different wants, and the show isn't necessarily meeting it for all fans. And I think that's fair. As we go into more and more original Disney Plus content, not everything's going to be for every fan. And certainly the Bad Batch may not be that for every Star Wars fan. Just as the MCU, the Marvel content on Disney Plus isn't for everybody who's a fan of Marvel content. It hasn't really hit with me that well, or Mrs. Claus at all. She's completely out. So yeah, that's the case. So anyhow, I wanted to share this article I thought was really, really good. And Meg talked about what is the big Bad Batch cameo. Is it going to be Vader coming in and just demolishing Camino? Might it be? And I think I'm with Meg on this. I think the good money goes on Boba Fett. He's been hinted, has been name dropped, and it's really set up for him to show up. And don't rule out, my friends, don't rule out Bail Organa. We've seen 2 other senators in the series already, and one of the most prominent senators in all of Star Wars, known to sweaties and normies alike, is Bail Organa. And certainly, if you don't remember Bail, you know his daughter, Leia Organa, and that we might see a certain toddler or infant show up in the series. So I think that's absolutely possible. Mark's touching base on the clone maturity, life experience they only get from living the years. Skip through army of teenagers. That's absolutely right. Army of teenagers. And and look, I served in the U.S. Army, and there's a lot of 18, 19-year-olds in basic training. And you put a bunch of 19-year-old boys together in basic training with weapons and all of that testosterone. And I'll tell you, more than once, fights broke out. Fights broke out. Yeah, it happens. And there's Keaton Haas with another super chat. So Star Wars happened in our universe, just a different galaxy. How long ago do you think it happened? Millions? Billions? Oh, let's say tens of thousands. How about that, Keaton? I say tens of thousands. Jordan Mason tweeted, Bo-Katan. So there's another, I want to get, that's another cameo. So we talk about big cameos. Jordan Mason put Bo-Katan, and Star Wars Meg put that in there. I don't know about Bo-Katan. Sure, she could, but I don't get where the story brings in Mandalorians. And I don't see where the story touches on that plot arc. I don't know. Could be. I mean, Jordan Mason's reliable, but I just don't know. Chips aside, the clones were brainwashed since birth to be good soldiers. That's true. Things get fuzzy for the clones. Yeah. Well, not only that, and I think, Ducky, you're talking, the brainwashing goes a long way, but and that's where Hauser really struggled, because here he'd been fighting all this time for Ryloth to be clear of the separatists, right? To have their independence, to have peace. But now the Empire's coming in, and they seem set against all of those goals. And that's where the clones are saying, wait, you go back to the brainwashing. Wait, this doesn't at all line up with what we've been fighting for and giving our lives for, what we've lost our brothers for, our comrades at arms. We didn't go through this for what is happening. So, yeah, I think that's a big deal. Crew, the original trilogy happened around 1300 AD. Could be. That's just hundreds of years. I go for maybe tens of thousands. Yeah, could be. He has it more recent, right? That could be fine. It's all fun. Imagine the time difference between the actual Star Wars we see billions of years, Star Wars billions of years in the past. Well, it opens up all kinds of possibilities, doesn't it? Return of the Jedi is time set 1810 AD. Oh, Crew's got it locked down. Well, very good. So I do want to talk about a couple of other topics that are pertinent for the day. And the one is what Josh was covering today. Again, we wanted to point out the episode guides, but there's two articles that came out. One was Friday, and it's details on the Kenobi characters and the casting. This came out from Jordan Mason. We already mentioned him briefly before, but Jordan Mason put this out on Friday, and there's a couple big pieces that came out in this article. The first is young Leia. They have here that Vivian Lyra Blair from Bird Box and We Can Be Heroes has been cast in the role of a young Leia. That's a big news that came out. And then, of course, the discussion was that she was going to be, hey, look, the Grey Council's here. We've got Lunga in the house. Lunga, I want to know, do you have that Omega plushie on order yet? I love to pick on Lunga because he hates Omega. He hates kids. Let's just be honest, right? Confirmed. Lunga hates kids. I'm picking on him, of course. Lunga is a friend, and I like him a lot. So that's why I pick. I pick because I like him. But here we go. We've got. They're talking about. Yeah, right. There you go. They're talking about Vivian Blair being cast as young Leia, and that she will be featured prominently. She's going to be featured prominently in the series, leading Obi-Wan off planet. And then, of course, as Josh talked about, and I think others have as well, that doesn't necessarily mean that Obi-Wan and Leia will be going on adventures together. They could be in the same room together, where Obi-Wan's talking to Bail, but I really don't know that we're going to see the Obi-Wan series focused on her and Obi-Wan together. More likely, we'll see Bail Organa and Leia, and we'll see this young actress, Vivian Blair, in those scenes with Bail, and Obi-Wan will have some interaction. But the story goes on, my friends. There's more. But wait, there's more. We also have Sung Kang as the fifth brother. So Inquisitors confirmed. There was a story we talked about some time ago, and many of us ran with, about the Inquisitors. There being multiple Inquisitors, and there could be an Inquisitor spin-off series that's in early, what do they call it? Early pre-production. But basically, it's an idea, right? And they're exploring it. We may see an Inquisitor series spin out of it based on how well it lands with fans and how well it lands with viewership. So here we have confirmation of the fifth brother. There's also talk of other Inquisitors, multiple Inquisitors being in the show. So look for that. And this little interview that he did, and Josh played part of it this morning, I encourage you, go check it out. The link to the article is in the description here. So you can find this in that article and listen to him about just being so geeked out about being on set and seeing Darth Vader. So Josh kind of skimmed over it, but he did touch on it. Here we have Sung Kang saying that he saw Darth Vader on set, which we've had that already about Hayden Christensen being in suit. So look forward to that. This series is building up hype as they get closer and closer. So there we have. But wait, my friends, there's more. Oh, that's not all. That's not all. Another article came out from LRM Online, and they sprung board off of Jordan Mason's article from Friday. They had the news. They were holding off on it, but Jordan let it go. So then they come out and they talked about R2 and 3PO being in there as well. And then they confirm Sung Kang and Leia rumor as well. And then there's rumors of all kinds of other cameos, including Ahsoka, that could show up in the Obi Wan Kenobi series. So here we've got Obi-Wan and 3PO. You would expect that with Bail Organa. So it kind of goes right on as soon as we get... Oh, Leia, I love this. A great troll of Josh. No confirmation of Satine, or Sabine, or Ezra. But yeah, no... when I know you weren't trolling Josh, but I took the opportunity anyway. But yeah, Satine, there was some discussion that one of the actresses looks so much like Satine, it could be Satine. Yeah, we don't have that confirmation of her, but you can imagine if they're going to show Bail Organa and we've got a young Leia, that 3PO and R2-D2 would show up. So I think it makes sense that they're going to be there. And I think all of it is sort of like confirmation of things that we could have expected to see anyway. While this is exciting news and we get some details here, I don't think any of this is shocking or like earth-shattering stuff. I think it's really fun, and it's great to see the confirmations. It's just, and there we go. You can see Sung Kang as the fifth brother. This is the fifth brother here. If you saw Rebels, you're familiar with that. And they build on it as well, young Leia. So, and there's R2 and 3PO. So we've got fantastic stuff about the Kenobi series coming out and the hype building up for that. I think they're doing a really good job. Lucasfilm's doing a good job of leaking things at certain times to get the anticipation up. They were doing that like last week, the week before, on the Acolyte series. Now we see a shift over to the Kenobi series, and looking forward to that. Yeah. Mark says the Cinelex links, that's Jordan Mason's article, mentions a certain apprentice showing up. And so smart money's on Ahsoka, right? Crew, I hope a Darth Maul Vader encounter. That could absolutely happen. Yeah, we could start getting a bunch of Andor stories. Of course, there has been some leaks of the Andor set photos and additional photos. Of course, we had our very own insider here go over and take some pictures there in Scotland. We shared those just a little while ago from our friend Darth Elvis. That was fantastic. And I saw the thing about Obi-Wan and Star Wars connection, where you can see the Star Wars characters in the Egyptian carvings. Of course, R2 and C-3PO show up there, and that's how he gets the timestamp on when that happened, because the stories from ancient Egypt being tied in. So there you go. There's how you can make a time connection between the two. So let's see here. What about Grogu? Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine to search for Grogu, but fails. Oh, I don't know. I mean, Grogu is out there. I just don't know if they'll bring him in to the Obi-Wan series. I really don't see that happening. But, you know, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Isn't Kenobi meant to be like 12 episodes? Ryan, yeah, I think less than 12. Somewhere in the 6 to 8. I heard 8 once, but I think people are saying it's only 6. So 6 to 8 episode arc there for the Kenobi series. Don't know if I want Maul here, right? I think that they closed the Maul arc perfectly in Rebels, and it's best to leave it there, personally. That's just my own personal opinion. It's not to say that they won't, but there you go. Hype for Andor, Rogue One. Fair enough. So there's another article I want to get to. Crew says Grogu is in Navarro at that time. Is he? I don't know. I don't know that's true, Crew. We'd have to have some information that shows that he's in Navarro. We know that Mando went and got him, but that was after Return of the Jedi, 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So we're talking now a good bit before A New Hope. And who knows where Grogu is before New Hope. And there's another one of our celebrity guests on Thursday, Lord Callis TV. Lord Callis is going to join us for our celebration live stream. He says, what if he heads to Dagobah for an episode? Oh, Callis, dude, that would be fantastic to see them go to Dagobah, the swamp planet, maybe see Yoda, maybe to consult with Yoda. Face to face. That would be great. I would love to see that. And I've not heard anybody else bring that up, but we know that Obi-Wan took Luke to Tatooine, and we know that Yoda went to Dagobah, and Kenobi and Yoda are working together. So while they can commune through the Force, we've seen live Jedi communicate with one another through the Force. Not always is it with a dead person. We could see Kenobi and Yoda communing through the Force, but we could also see maybe he makes a trip to Dagobah to visit Yoda. That would be great. Ducky brings up the early rumors where a prominent Jedi saves Grogu in Bad Batch. I'm still holding out hope for that, Ducky, but it's starting to look less and less likely. Early in the season, I would have put money on it because I thought KRT was on point. And even here in this LRM article, they quote the KRT folks as a source for some of their information. So my hope is that Corey had that correct and that we will see Grogu in the Bad Batch, but the window is tightening, right? Yeah, Grogu's time during Kenobi's unknown, right? Right. Let's see. Yes, the Dreamwalkers are growing strong with the Force. There you go. That's Lord Callus's Lord Callus TV. His Dreamwalkers, those folks who are members of his channel, and I am thrilled to death that we're going to get Callus come in as part of our celebrity guests on Thursday for our celebration stream. So there's another topic here. One more topic. Did Grogu look the same when he was born? Well, it had been smaller, but still green. I don't know that we've seen a newborn of the species, but I would say that he looked very similar. Yeah. So one more topic I wanted to touch base on here is the Mando Season 3 already in production. And this came out, and again, it's been covered over the weekend, but this Mando Season 3 piece here, let me share this with you all again. There was this American cinematographer piece that came out. They're talking about the volume and stagecraft technology. And in this article, they talk about all the things that they're doing with the volume, some fantastic stuff here and there, talking about how the Mandalorian was done in it and how they brought in the Book of Boba Fett's being done in it, other things that they're starting to use that volume for. And in here, they talked about, let's see if I find it in the article itself, that Mandalorian Season 3 is already in production. And it was in context of talking about Season 1 and Season 2. So just scrolling through here, it's an article that, again, it's all talking about the LED wall for doing those kind of things and live action shoots. How much better it is than green screen and blue screen. So Space and Sea. Here's Kenobi to talk about Book of Boba Fett, which released later this year. Obi Wan Kenobi set for release in 2022. Both series would use the same volume initially built for The Mandalorian in Manhattan Beach, California. More Star Wars shows, including Andor, are in production at Pinewood Studios in England, where they built another large stagecraft volume right there. So now there are, I believe, 3 of them. The one in California, actually there may be 4. There's one in California, one in Florida, one in England, and one in Australia. And then right after this, it says Season 3 of The Mandalorian is now in production. That should be couched with production doesn't mean filming. We saw, I think, a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, that Season 3 is scheduled to go into filming in September. So don't confuse filming with production. That can be confusing. So be clear, it is in production. Production could include writing screenplay, right? The scripts, the story arc. That is certainly in the works, and I believe has been in the works for some time from a technical standpoint. When you talk about production, certainly The Mandalorian Season 3 has been in production for some time. Filming is supposed to start in September. And I wouldn't be surprised, and I talked about this a little bit last week, I would not be surprised at all if they already did some filming when they had the Book of Boba Fett going on. We had a lot of the same actors, we had a lot of the same directors, and presumably the same, in the same location as far as the stagecraft is. All they would have to do is dial up a scene, and you've got the actors and the directors on stage already. They could shoot the scene and move on, throw it in a can. They could come back in September, dial it up, and it'll bring the exact scene back in, and they can continue shooting from there. So I think that it would not be surprising at all. I'm not saying that it has, but it wouldn't be surprising at all to see that perhaps we've already had some filming of Mando Season 3, but principal photography is not started yet. That will happen in September. And Gray is listening in. Hey, I saw you earlier, Gray, presumably out working in the garden. That's what Gray does while she listens to the show. She's out working in the garden. So Mark is giving you all a link to the preview for the celebrity stream this coming Thursday. Again, that'll be from 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, and hoping to kick off right off the bat with Star Wars Meg as our first guest. And we, as I mentioned, Lord Callis TV, he's going to try to drop in during the stream at some point. We also have some other fantastic celebrity guests already confirmed, as well as invites out to a few more. And hopefully we will get those times locked down so that we know when you guys can expect to see what's going on. Right here, I read somewhere that the nose and ears are the only human parts that continue to grow throughout our lives. I've heard the same, Lord Callis TV. Your nose and your ears continue to grow throughout your life. That's right. Your earlobes will get longer. Boba Fett needs to show up. I agree. In the Bad Batch, Boba Fett should absolutely show up. I fully expect him to show up. Although our friend here, Sheev the Wise, and Nikki make a pretty strong argument for Vader showing up on Camino and just going ham on Camino. I could see that happening. And somebody put it, the beach scene that didn't happen in Rogue One could be put into Camino, and just have him going in there absolutely thrashing, right? Ducky, my belly seems to keep growing as well. That's true. That's true, Ducky. That's good. That's true. There's another. Why not both? There you go, Sheev. We talked about this earlier. And is better than or. There was an old commercial a few years ago where they talked about and is better than or. I fully endorse that idea. And is better than or. Both. We get the Vader scene, and we get a Boba Fett. Absolutely. When will we get the Book of Boba Fett trailer? Crew is probably right there, probably November. Sometime during the NFL season. We'll probably get it, maybe the Thanksgiving Day show. They'll give us a good Boba Fett trailer, which I know is only like 2 weeks before Boba Fett, but he's probably right there, which is frustrating, but that's the case. We have coming up the season finale of the Bad Batch in the second week of August. September, we get Visions, where they're going to give us all of those episodes in one drop. And then we get in December the Book of Boba Fett, and probably announcements on dates for other things like the Kenobi show and Andor released around then, as well as Mando Season 3. We should get a date for that. And speculation on that now is that it will be spring of 2022 instead of winter. So pushed back a couple of weeks, but that should be the case. Yeah, I know it comes out in December, Stormy. Comes out in December. We probably won't get the trailer until November. That stinks, but it's the way it is. That's the way these things work. Ducky, I'm up for some killer without the filler. And the Boba Fett emoji. That's fantastic. I also wanted to talk. We got some distressing news in the Star Wars community that a beloved writer is really struggling. He's got terminal cancer. Having a hard time right now with his name. You guys will give it to me. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family as he goes through his end of life care. Certainly a sad moment for the fandom, and again, don't want to let this stream close out without bringing up that that story. And again, you guys have to give me a name. You know how I am with names. And DC Fandom with the $2 super chat there. I think show will be Mando unifying Mandalorians. Mando season 3. That is. I think that's the case as well. Yeah, Alan Dean Foster. That's who it is, Keaton. Alan Dean Foster. Thank you for giving me that name. I had it right before the show started, and then through all the discussion, that slipped my mind. But Alan Dean Foster is in his end of life care. We pray that his days will be comfortable and that it will be spent with family and loved ones, so that he has some. He can rest in peace. That would be great for him and his family. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Alan Dean Foster at this time. Let's see. R.W. Renslayer. No, I think it's Alan Dean Foster. I think it's Alan Dean Foster. No, that's wrong. Okay, so She've got it right. It's Renslayer. You guys gonna get it? I gotta pull it up. Could we hear Grogu's first words? What would his first words be? And are they spoke forward or backwards? J.W. Rensler. J.W. Rensler. Is that it? I got the name wrong. I'm trying to pull it up on Twitter. I saw it there. But yeah, it looks like you're right. J.W. Rensler. Yeah, Mark Hamilton's confirming. You guys are all confirming. It's J.W. Rensler. Yeah. J.W. Rensler. He's got terminal cancer. Alan Dean Foster's been dealing with it. I thought it was Alan Dean Foster. You guys are telling me it's J.W. Rensler. And I just have to, I guess I'll have to Google it to get it. Okay, there's the GoFundMe for Jonathan's medical expenses. Okay, so yeah, that fits with J.W. Rensler. They do have a GoFundMe set up for him. You guys, again, it's J.W. Rensler, Andre. I got the name wrong. J.W. Rensler's got terminal cancer. He's in his end-of-life care treatment for that cancer, and they have this GoFundMe set up. His wife set it up for him to help with his medical expenses and for folks that want to show their love and support for him. And look, there's Gray with a $15 super chat. Gray, oh my goodness. Gray is near and dear to Santa's heart. One of my closest friends here through the YouTube and Star Wars community. Gray, thank you so much for that generous super chat. So you guys, Cruz says the money goal is almost reached. That's great. That's great. Yeah, he worked at Lucasfilm with George for 14 years. The making of books, the OT, the PT. J.W. Rensler, a great figure in the Star Wars Lucasfilm history books. Somebody who will be forever associated with the original trilogy and some of the best Star Wars that we've ever gotten as fans. So, J.W. Rensler. You guys, just kind of close things out here. We've had fantastic viewership today. We've had a lot of support. You guys are absolutely killing it. The channel is continuing to grow. Our memberships are growing. We're reaching our goals to be able to do some of our giveaways. You guys know the goal here is to be able to give away vintage collection figures and Black Series collection figures, and perhaps even some of the Hot Toys and premium collectibles we would like to give away. And one of the first things that we want to give away here is this vintage collection Boba Fett's Starship. I'm kidding. It's Boba Fett Slave 1. So it says right on the box, Boba Fett Slave 1. We're going to give this away as soon as our funding goals are reached there. So all your super chats, all of your membership is going to be put back into these giveaways so that I can cover the cost of purchasing and shipping these to our community members. So if you are a member at the Blizzard Battalion level or higher, you will be automatically entered to win this Slave 1, Boba Fett Slave 1, with Boba Fett right inside. Let's see if I can show you guys. Do you see Boba Fett in there? There's Boba Fett piloting the Slave 1. We'll give away the Vintage Collection Boba Fett as well as the figure here. Here you can see Boba Fett right in there. Look at that. So this is going to be one of the first things that we're going to give away, and you guys have been doing such a fantastic job that I want to show my appreciation for all of you. And there's Mike the Kang Porter with $1 super sticker. Thank you, Mike Porter. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. You guys, that's going to do it for today. I am thrilled to death to be able to come on. It's been part of my Monday with all of you. Have all of you come here and visit, and give Josh a little bit of a hard time. He had a great show this morning. He was having a lot of fun on there, and I had a lot of fun listening to him. And we look forward to our live stream coming up this Thursday. And just touch base, I saw our survey we had at the beginning. I asked which franchise has better original Disney Plus content, and 75% of you say that it's with Star Wars. There's very good, you guys. And of course, now that we know how to do these polls, there's some other things that I couldn't help myself. DC fandom, I couldn't help myself. I had to say it. But we'll be doing other polls. I'm curious, how many of you are reading the High Republic novels or comics? How many of you are enjoying those? We'll be doing some polls and some content around the High Republic coming up soon. There's a lot of it was a rhetorical poll. It will say Star Wars. That's you're on Star Wars Santa's channel, so what do I expect, right? So we will have some content talk about the High Republic. I look forward to doing a review of some of the latest novels with you very soon. And Sheev the Wise, next time do a Cad Bane versus Boba Fett poll. I got to learn how to do that. Sheev, so you just go into the YouTube. You have to go into YouTube analytics there and pull it up in the live stream tool. And then you have to pop out the chat. You can't do it while the chat is still in there. You have to pop the chat out. Once you pop the chat out, then the poll option shows up at the bottom, and you can do it in there. So there you go. Gray, I'm reading them and also the comics, enjoying the High Republic. I am too. Herod. I keep saying Herod's a fire, and I think I'm not saying that right. I'm loving them all. I am largely enjoying them as well. I am enjoying the High Republic, and I know many of you are as well. But to what we talked earlier, look, live action is going to get more eyeballs, more fans, more let's put it this way. Live action is going to be consumed more than animated. Animated is going to be consumed more than publishing. And if you really want to break it down, I think that novels are consumed more than comics. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. Reeferman Reviews about Reed Rising Storm. Oh, enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it. It is really good. I enjoyed it a lot. There we go. Herodare is fire. Herodare is fire. Herodare is fire. Herodare is fire. I'll have to practice that. I could say konnichiwa. How about that? So you guys, I hope you have a great day. I may or may not be able to do a live stream tomorrow. I've got work backing up. I've got to get caught up on. Tonight, I'm going to show up on a podcast. It's they fly now. Podcast 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'll be a guest on their podcast, and you guys catch the Nerd Theory tonight. We'll be trying to keep up with that at the same time as the podcast, but I'll share with you information on how to find that podcast as it becomes available. And then this Friday, Star Wars Tonight has invited me to come on as a guest to their show to talk about the latest Bad Batch episode. So we'll be doing that with them on Friday. Most say Hero Dares Fire. Hero Dares Fire. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much. Yeah, you've been fantastic. We'll catch you as soon as we can possibly get back on. And if we don't see you until Thursday, then my heartfelt thanks goes out to all of you for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and enjoy this day that we have. Until the next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.